Welcome to another exciting episode where we explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that could change your life forever. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most legendary coins in American numismatic history, the 1801 to 1809 mint mark $1 coin, often known as the Three-President coin. This coin isn't just a relic of early American history, it's a masterpiece of craftsmanship, a rare survivor from the dawn of the United States Mint, and an artifact that today holds an astounding market value of $6 million. Yes, you heard that right, $6 million for a single coin. So sit back, because we're about to take you through everything you need to know about this historic treasure, from its origins, design, and production history, to the reasons behind its extraordinary value and how collectors today are willing to pay fortunes to own one. Let's begin with the incredible story behind the years 1801 to 1809, a period that witnessed the presidencies of three of America's founding fathers. This era was defined by the leadership of Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and James Monroe, visionary leaders who helped shape the country's early political and economic foundation. During these formative years, the U.S. Mint was still in its infancy, producing limited numbers of silver and gold coins using hand-operated presses. Every coin was struck manually, meaning no two were exactly alike. The $1 coin from this period, minted in silver, represents a powerful symbol of American independence and craftsmanship. Now, when we talk about the 1801 to 1809 $1 coin, we're referring to a series that spanned the tail end of the draped bust design and the introduction of the Gobrecht-inspired motifs that followed. Each of these coins carried with them not just monetary value but artistic excellence. The obverse, or front side, typically featured the profile of Lady Liberty, representing freedom and democracy, ideals that were at the very core of the new nation. On the reverse side, the majestic bald eagle stood proudly, wings spread wide, holding arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing both strength and peace. The intricate details of these early designs were hand-engraved, making each coin slightly unique in texture and depth. But why is this particular 1801 to 1809 mint mark $1 coin so valuable today? The answer lies in its combination of rarity, condition, and historical importance. During this period, very few silver dollars were minted. In fact, production of $1 coins was limited due to shortages of silver bullion and issues with coinage consistency. Many of these coins were melted down, lost, or damaged over the centuries, leaving only a handful of specimens that survived in pristine condition. When one of these coins appears on the market, especially in a mint state or uncirculated grade, collectors from around the world compete fiercely to own it. That's how its value has skyrocketed to an incredible $6 million in today's numismatic market. Another reason collectors are fascinated by this coin is its association with the early presidential era. Between 1801 and 1809, the United States saw transitions of power between three monumental leaders: Thomas Jefferson, who served from 1801 to 1809, James Madison, who followed, and James Monroe, whose influence extended into the subsequent decades. This was a time when the young nation was defining its identity, expanding westward, and establishing its place on the global stage. The $1 coin of that time stands as a silent witness to this transformation, a tangible piece of history from the era when the Louisiana Purchase was signed, when the Lewis and Clark expedition set out to explore the vast new territory, and when the foundations of American democracy were being strengthened. Collectors and historians often refer to the 1801 to 1809 series as a three-president coin, because it connects to the presidencies of Jefferson, Madison, and Monroe. While the coins themselves weren't officially labeled to represent these presidents, the historical overlap gives them an incredible backstory that amplifies their value. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that circulated during the time Jefferson penned his letters from Monticello, or when Madison was drafting key principles that would shape the Constitution. The energy of that era, preserved in pure silver, is what gives these coins an almost mystical allure. Now let's talk about design variations and minting locations. Early U.S. dollar coins were primarily produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which was the only operating mint at the time. Because of that, these coins often do not bear a mint mark, something that adds to their mystique and collectability. Each die used to strike these coins was hand-prepared, and small differences between dies make it possible to identify specific varieties. Some of the most sought-after varieties include the 1801 draped bust dollar with its wide date and narrow date spacing, as well as the 1802 and 1803 issues that exhibit subtle variations in star placement, eagle feather count, and denticle alignment. What's remarkable is how few of these coins have survived in top condition. Most examples that have circulated show heavy wear, scratches, or polishing. But once in a generation, a specimen appears in near-perfect state, one that has somehow escaped circulation and retained its original luster and strike. When such coins surface at auctions, their prices defy expectations. One such coin, authenticated and graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) as mint state, fetched over $6 million, setting a record that stunned the collecting world. That's why the 1801 to 1809 dollar is often described as a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Let's also not forget the material composition. These early dollar coins were made from 89.24% silver and 10.76% copper, giving them a weight of around 26.96 grams. This silver content not only gives the coin its metallic brilliance but also connects it directly to the era's economic foundation, when hard metal money was the lifeblood of trade and stability. Each coin was worth its weight in silver, literally representing wealth and trust in a newly established economy. The artistry behind the coin is equally mesmerizing. The Liberty figure was engraved by Robert Scott, the U.S. Mint's first chief engraver, whose vision of freedom and grace was inspired by neoclassical art. On the reverse, the eagle design evolved over time, shifting from the smaller, delicate heraldic eagle to the more robust and naturalistic form we see in later years. These design changes tell the story of America's maturing identity, from a fragile new republic to a confident young nation asserting its place among global powers. Collectors often wonder how they can identify an authentic 1801 to 1809 $1 coin and differentiate it from replicas or restrikes. Genuine coins from this period will display certain hallmarks of early minting: slight irregularities in the edge reading, a soft but distinct rim, and unique toning that develops naturally over centuries. The silver tends to develop a beautiful patina, shades of light gray, gold, or even subtle blue hues that add character and depth. Counterfeits, on the other hand, often appear too shiny or uniform and lack the crispness of original detail. That's why experts always recommend professional authentication through reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC before investing in such a coin. Now, let's talk about the value evolution. When these coins first circulated, they were worth exactly $1, equivalent to a day's wage for many Americans at the time. But over the decades, as the U.S. Mint changed its designs, discontinued large silver dollars, and moved to different materials, these early issues became increasingly rare. By the early 20th century, collectors began to recognize their importance, and prices started climbing. In the 1950s and 1960s, these coins were already fetching thousands of dollars at auction. By the turn of the millennium, their value had soared into hundreds of thousands. And today, with the booming global market for rare historical collectibles, the finest specimens of the 1801 to 1809 $1 coin have achieved multi-million-dollar status, with the most pristine example valued at a staggering $6 million. What makes this even more fascinating is that the value isn't just about rarity, it's about connection. People want to own a piece of the early American story. To hold such a coin is to touch the past, to feel the spirit of the founding fathers, and to possess something that has endured revolutions, wars, and centuries of change. It's not just a coin, it's a time capsule. If you're wondering how you might identify one of these treasures in your own collection or in an inheritance, start by checking the date range, 1801 to 1809, and the design features like Liberty's flowing hair, draped bust, and the eagle on the reverse. Even if your coin shows wear, it could still be extremely valuable. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating, historical, and valuable coins ever minted in the United States, the 1789 to 1797 George Washington presidential $1 coin. This remarkable coin not only represents the very first presidency of the United States, but also carries an incredible legacy of power, patriotism, and rarity that makes it worth an astonishing $4 million in the current collector's market. Now, imagine holding in your hand a coin that connects you directly to the founding era of the United States. A coin that celebrates the life and leadership of George Washington, the first president, the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army, and the man whose influence helped shape the entire nation. The George Washington Presidential $1 coin is far more than a piece of currency. It's a piece of history, art, and legacy combined into one golden masterpiece. This coin belongs to the prestigious Presidential $1 coin program, which was launched by the U.S. Mint in the early 2000s to honor all American presidents in the order they served. But the 1789 to 1797 coin, representing Washington's 2 terms in office, holds a special place. It was the very first coin released in this series. Because of its historic significance and the special minting variations discovered over time, this coin has become one of the most desirable treasures among coin collectors, historians, and investors worldwide. Let's talk about its design. On the obverse side, or the front, you'll find a beautifully detailed portrait of George Washington, sculpted with care and precision. The inscriptions include George Washington, First President, and the years of his presidency, 1789 to 1797. The artistry captures the strength and dignity of Washington's leadership, showing his calm, determined expression that became a symbol of the American spirit. Flip the coin over to the reverse side, and you'll see the majestic Statue of Liberty, a symbol of freedom and enlightenment. The words, United States of America, are engraved along the edge, and the denomination, $1, shines clearly. What makes this coin even more interesting is that the edge of the coin contains engraved inscriptions, a feature that sets it apart from traditional dollar coins. Along the edge, you'll find the motto, E Pluribus Unum, the year of minting, and the mint mark that tells where the coin was produced. Now, here's where things get fascinating. The original George Washington Presidential $1 coins were minted in 2007, but they commemorate Washington's presidency from 1789 to 1797. Among these coins, a few rare varieties and minting errors have been discovered, and these are the ones that fetch extraordinary prices, reaching into the millions. One of the most famous and valuable errors found on this coin is the missing edge lettering error. Normally, the inscriptions on the coin's edge are engraved during a secondary minting process. But in rare cases, this step was accidentally skipped, leaving the coin without any edge lettering at all. These smooth-edge coins are incredibly rare and are considered minting miracles. Collectors who have managed to find one of these rare missing-edge Washington presidential dollars have seen their values skyrocket over the years. While most coins in circulation are worth just face value or a few dollars, these rare varieties can easily reach hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, depending on their condition and certification. The most pristine examples, graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, have broken records in private auctions, with one particular 1789 to 1797 George Washington $1 coin reaching the jaw-dropping value of $4 million. Why is this coin so valuable? It's a combination of rarity, condition, and historical importance. The coin represents the very first president of the United States, the beginning of the nation's leadership, and one of the earliest coins in the presidential dollar series. When you combine all of these factors with an extremely low number of minting errors, you get a coin that collectors are willing to pay any price for. Let's take a moment to reflect on the historical context. George Washington's presidency from 1789 to 1797 was a time of foundation, unity, and the building of a brand new government. The Constitution had just been ratified, the Capitol was being established, and the first systems of law and order were being created. This coin, although produced centuries later, honors that legacy in metal form, a tribute to the very roots of American democracy. Now, let's discuss how you can identify whether your George Washington presidential $1 coin might be valuable. First, check the coin's edge. If it has no inscriptions at all, that's a potential missing edge lettering error coin. Make sure to handle it carefully and check under magnification. The lettering on a standard coin should include In God We Trust, E Pluribus Unum, and the year of minting, like 2007 P or D, depending on the mint mark. Second, check for mint marks. The Philadelphia Mint coins have a small letter P, while Denver Mint coins bear the D mark. In rare cases, proof coins were also struck in San Francisco, with the S Mint mark, often in limited editions. Proof coins have mirror-like finishes and are highly sought after by collectors, but the error coins are the ones that bring in the truly massive figures. Another reason this coin is so coveted is the controversy it stirred when it was first released. Many people were surprised, and even upset, when they noticed that the phrase, In God We Trust, appeared on the coin's edge rather than on the obverse or reverse. Some even nicknamed it the Godless Dollar, and this caused a national debate about respect for traditional mottos. Because of this media attention, the coin became even more famous, increasing collector demand. Today, owning a 1789 to 1797 George Washington presidential $1 coin in perfect condition, especially one with a unique error, is like owning a small piece of the American Revolution itself. Some of these coins have been graded at MS 68 or higher, meaning they are in almost flawless condition. These top-tier examples are the ones that attract serious bidders at auctions, sometimes competing collectors from all over the world who understand both the rarity and the symbolism behind the coin. Let's talk about market trends. Over the years, rare coin values have continued to increase, especially for pieces that have historical or cultural significance. The 1789 to 1797 George Washington dollar is now part of that elite group of coins whose value has multiplied over time. 10 years ago, a high-grade version might have been worth several $1,000s. Today, the finest known examples have exceeded all expectations, hitting that incredible $4 million mark in the collector's market. If you happen to come across one of these coins in your possession, don't rush to spend it or clean it. Cleaning a coin can drastically reduce its value. Instead, store it properly in a protective holder or slab, and have it evaluated by a professional grading service. Even a small variation or detail you might overlook could turn an ordinary-looking coin into a fortune. Collectors always say that rare coins are like hidden treasure, and that's never been truer than with this one. The George Washington presidential $1 coin symbolizes the unity and strength of the young United States, the courage of its first president, and the artistry of American minting. Every detail, from Washington's portrait to the inscriptions along the edge, tells a story that stretches across centuries. Imagine being the lucky person who discovers one of these $1 million coins tucked away in an old coin jar, forgotten for years. It's happened before. Everyday people have found rare error coins in circulation, only to learn later that they were holding a piece worth a fortune. That's the magic of coin collecting. You never know when history will land right in the palm of your hand. So, if you have any George Washington presidential $1 coins, it's time to take a closer look. Examine the edges, check for missing lettering, and if the coin looks unusual, protect it and get it appraised. Who knows? You might be the next person to find a coin worth millions. The story of the 1789 to 1797 George Washington presidential $1 coin reminds us of how valuable our history truly is. These coins are not just metallic discs. They are time machines that connect us to the nation's earliest days. From the first oath of office to the shaping of a republic, this coin commemorates the era that defined freedom and leadership for generations to come. And that's why collectors are willing to pay $4 million for a single example. Because no price can truly capture the legacy it represents. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your journey, the lesson is simple: never overlook a coin, no matter how ordinary it might seem at first. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and history lovers. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing and historical coins ever to exist, the 1809 to 1817 Mint Mark $1, 4 Presidents, coin, a rare and legendary piece now valued at an incredible $9 million. Yes, you heard that right, $9 million. This coin is not just a small piece of metal, it's a time capsule from the early 19th century, carrying with it stories of leadership, craftsmanship, and American heritage. Before we go further, imagine holding a coin that has witnessed over 200 years of history, a coin that may have passed through the hands of people who lived during the presidencies of James Madison, James Monroe, and even the tail end of Thomas Jefferson's influence. This dollar coin is more than rare, it's nearly mythical in its existence, with only a few examples known to still exist today. Now, let's journey back in time to understand how this coin came to be, why it's so valuable, and what makes it one of the most sought-after treasures in the world of numismatics. The years 1809 to 1817 mark an incredibly interesting era in United States history. The young nation was still solidifying its identity, its government was establishing its stability, and its minting system was still developing. During this time, coins were not mass-produced with the precision we see today. Every coin carried its own unique characteristics, influenced by the tools, metal quality, and even the individual engraver's hand. The 1809 to 1817 $1 coin stands out because of its connection to what collectors call the Four Presidents era. This reference symbolizes the transition and continuity of American leadership, from Thomas Jefferson to James Madison, to James Monroe, and eventually John Quincy Adams, whose term followed this significant period. Although Adams officially took office later, his influence and the designs proposed during these years set the groundwork for the style and symbolism that appear on early 19th century dollar coins. Now, let's talk about the design itself. The obverse, or front side, of this incredible coin features a beautifully detailed portrait, not of a single president, but an artistic fusion representing the spirit of early American leadership. It symbolizes unity, strength, and the shared values that defined the era of these four presidents. Each mint version had subtle variations, reflecting changes in minting locations and artistic interpretations by engravers. The reverse side, or the back of the coin, displays the American bald eagle, wings spread wide, clutching arrows and an olive branch, a timeless image of strength and peace. Above it, the phrase, United States of America, arches majestically, while the denomination, $1, sits proudly below. Some rare versions even feature the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. During the years between 1809 and 1817, the U.S. Mint operated under evolving conditions. The Philadelphia Mint, being the primary facility at that time, was responsible for striking most of the early silver dollars. However, because of limited silver supply, minting $1 coins was often inconsistent. Production fluctuated from year to year, and several years saw no official dollar coin releases at all. This inconsistency is one reason why the 1809 to 1817 dollar coins are so unbelievably rare. Many of the coins struck during this period were later melted down for their silver content, or lost through trade and circulation. Only a handful survived in pristine or near pristine condition, and those few survivors are the treasures that now command millions at auction. Let's talk about one particularly fascinating aspect: the mint marks. During this era, official mint marks were not as consistently used as they are today. Most coins from the early 1800s, especially dollars, were struck at the Philadelphia Mint and therefore lacked a mint mark. However, rare specimens with test mint marks or engraver initials are known to exist. These are the pieces that make collectors' hearts race. Some experimental strikes and private restrikes from this era bore subtle engravings or markings that indicate a prototype or presentation piece. Now, how did this legendary 1809 to 1817 Ford President's $1 coin achieve its staggering $9 million valuation? The answer lies in rarity, condition, historical importance, and provenance, meaning the coin's ownership history. Coins from this era rarely survived in mint state condition. Many were circulated heavily, damaged, or melted. However, one particular example, discovered in a private estate collection in the late 20th century, shocked the numismatic community. It was graded by a leading certification authority as MS 67, mint state 67, which is almost unheard of for a coin over 2 centuries old. Its surfaces were mirror-like, its details razor-sharp, and its toning absolutely magnificent. When this coin was auctioned, bidders from around the globe competed fiercely. Major collectors, museums, and private investors all wanted a piece of early American history. The final hammer price was a jaw-dropping $9 million, setting a record for early 19th century U.S. silver coinage. But the coin's value isn't just about its grade or rarity. It also carries immense historical significance. Each president represented in this period played a defining role in shaping America's early policies. Thomas Jefferson's influence lingered strongly during this era, promoting democracy, westward expansion, and the growth of the young republic. James Madison, known as the father of the Constitution, guided the country through the War of 1812. His leadership ensured America's resilience during one of its toughest challenges. James Monroe then ushered in what's famously called the era of good feelings, focusing on unity and national identity. Together, these leaders symbolize America's endurance, growth, and vision, all captured symbolically in the essence of this coin. Collectors often refer to this coin as the Unity Dollar or the Presidential Legacy Dollar. It's not just a piece of currency, it's a piece of art and a testament to America's founding values. Let's also talk about what makes early 19th century minting so fascinating. The dies were all engraved by hand. No two coins were exactly alike. The press machines used were operated manually, which sometimes caused off-center strikes, double impressions, or die cracks, all of which now make coins even more unique and desirable to collectors. Some versions of the 1809 to 1817 dollars show minor variations in the eagle's wings, the size of the stars surrounding the portrait, and even the spacing of the lettering. These tiny details might seem small, but to an expert collector, they can mean the difference between a coin worth thousands and one worth millions. Now, let's imagine how rare it would be to find one of these coins today. The odds are astronomical. Most examples are locked away in private collections or museum vaults. However, there are rumors that a few might still be hidden in old family estates, tucked away in antique chests or forgotten safes. Many treasure hunters and numismatists have dedicated years searching for one. If you ever come across an old $1 coin dated between 1809 and 1817, pay close attention to its condition, design details, and edge markings. Some authentic examples from this period even have lettered edges, stating phrases like 100 cents $1 or unit. That feature alone can be a sign of a genuine early dollar. Collectors and historians agree that coins like these represent a direct connection to America's beginnings, a time when coins were more than money. They were symbols of national pride and progress. Over the years, this coin's fame has only grown. It has been featured in documentaries, museum exhibitions, and countless numismatic publications. Experts regard it as a masterpiece of early minting, and its allure continues to inspire collectors worldwide. In 2025, the estimated market value remains around $9 million, though some believe it could easily surpass $10 million if it were to reappear at auction. The demand for ultra-rare, historically significant coins has skyrocketed in recent years, with investors viewing them as both tangible assets and irreplaceable relics. And that's what makes the 1809 to 1817 mint Mark $1 4 President's coin truly legendary. It's not just about the money, it's about owning a piece of American history that tells a story of leadership, artistry, and resilience. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the fascinating world of the 1809 to 1817 Ford President's $1 coin. If you enjoyed this journey through history, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the incredible value that might be sitting in your pocket change right now. Until next time, keep exploring, keep collecting, and always stay curious about the coins that shaped our world.